So we've got Tom here from the Ministry of Eco-Education who's going to talk to us a little bit about nature. As a football club, it's quite different round here, right? You've seen that there's grass banks around. It's not similar to other football clubs. Why is it so important, Tom? Why is that nature so important?
First of all, respect to you guys for having a wild area right next to your pitch. I really admire that. And we know that a strip this wide is a really useful habitat. So actually, if you give nature space and let it do its own thing, it will introduce an incredible range of species, which we call biodiversity. Not many football clubs talk about biodiversity on site. It's really quite special. So this time of year, you might think there's not a lot going on. But if I show you some small things in here, this is a bramble leaf. There's 400 types of brambles if you end up counting what's in your school grounds. And you can see there's holes in it. So we know there's caterpillars that have been recently eating that. And the caterpillars might overwinter as chrysalis or as a caterpillar. So hiding amongst here, there will be thousands of mini caterpillars. Here's some hazel you can see. Here's some nice catkins. And there's male and female. And here's some little beetles that will be hibernating. These are actually stag beetles. They're quite rare now. So I brought you those as a special specimen. But I found all sorts of other things. So if you were going to try and count how many different things you've got, which is how much biodiversity you've got in your area, then you'll realise that this football club has got so many different wild species that belong here, right down to lichen on twigs. That's really important, and that shows how clean the air is around here. Bright coloured lichen and lots of it really helps to show that. So congratulations to you guys for managing to keep high biodiversity metres away from your pitch.
Thank you very much. And this is all obviously part of the Green Football Weekend, right? And that's all about getting people to make pledges about what they can do at home. So what can people do? They're watching this lesson. What can they do afterwards when they get home to try and help the biodiversity in their area?
Very nice. At home and at work, a green space that's ideally 3 metres wide at least in a strip is a very useful habitat, and nature will take its course in there. You'll find that over the first few years, things like all these hawthorn shrubs and hazel shrubs will pop up. But it's been proven that if you let nature take its course, it will go through succession, and you can just watch and enjoy it. The more rough ground you have, the better. And so if I bring my kestrel in, I'll show you the kind of thing you'll get if you have enough rough ground for small voles, small birds to live in that area.
Tom, we get a lot of unique visitors at the New Lawn, being who we are, but this is the first time I'm stood next to interviewing a bird. So could you introduce us to your kestrel to start with, and then tell us how important they are?
Nice. This is Sandy. So his parents were injured in car accidents, and he's a rescue chick, and he lives wild around my home. And he was raised by a 12-year-old, a mad football fan, and now he lives free. But he's come with us today so that we could just remind ourselves of the importance of bringing nature into these conversations. He's important because he's a top predator, like this stuffed hedgehog. It's not a real hedgehog. These guys are top predators. If you've got these in your grounds, then you know, like a shark on a reef, that you've got plenty of food around. They're like keystone species. They really help. If you have big buzzards, you know things are going well, another top predator. If you have things like peacocks, then you know that actually what you've got is not necessarily native wildlife. And that's what's really good about Forest Green Rovers leaving this wild strip for native wildlife. You don't really want exotics because the balance is so carefully finely tuned. The balance has taken 10, 20,000 years of stable climate to come to this ultimate collection of biodiversity. And we don't want to disturb that.
Amazing. Thanks, Tom. I think we'll let Sammy have a little break from media duties, right?